Good afternoon, I'm Herman Green with the Midday News. A special welcome to those of you watching on onespotmedia.com. A reminder as well that you can watch TVJ live by downloading our One Spot Media app from the Google Play Store or the App Store. That's the number 1, followed by the word Spot Media. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson is in Jamaica on the final leg of his Latin America and the Caribbean tour. Mr. Tillerson, who has visited Mexico, Argentina, Peru, and Colombia, will spend a few hours in the island as he holds talks with Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Both men are also scheduled to host a media briefing. Former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson last week urged the government to press its own priority issues with the U.S. Secretary of State. The U.S. State Department, in announcing Mr. Tillerson's visit to Jamaica and countries in Latin America, said he will seek to promote a safe, prosperous, energy-secure, and democratic hemisphere and advocate for increased regional attention to the crisis in Venezuela. And of course, we will have details on Mr. Tillerson's visit to the media briefing during primetime news this evening. Tourism interests are strongly defending the use of the term enhanced security measures proposed to be used instead of the term state of public emergency for the security force operation now taking place in St. James. Former president of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, Joseph Forsmeyer, insists that the term is helpful to ease potential concerns from tourists. The term enhanced security measures was introduced on Sunday by National Security Minister Robert Montague, who advocated that it should be used so that international partners are not disturbed by the designation of public emergency. However, the proposal has been greeted with a mixture of acceptance and cynicism. According to Mr. Forsmeyer, the tourism industry is giving support because the security forces are in control and this information should reach the international community.
We declared it, and now we obviously have to live with it. But I think it's time now that we own the narrative, that it is truly enhanced security measures, because that's what most of us experience on the ground, that go about their business every day. Now, I'm not saying that certain communities are not under curfews and certain areas are not suffering more than others, but the daily life continues. Now, there are enhanced security measures.
The new road traffic bill is now closer to becoming law. Transport Minister Mike Henry closed the debate on the bill in the House of Representatives yesterday. It was passed with 131 amendments. The bill, which was tabled on September 9, 2016, was voted on unanimously. It will now go to the Senate. The proposed legislation will replace the current Road Traffic Act of 1938, sections of which have become outdated due to technological developments in motor vehicles and road designs. The Transport Minister warned that the police will adopt a zero-tolerance approach to breaches of the new legislation. In the meantime, the Transport Minister says he wants the new Road Traffic Act to be implemented early this year. He says as part of the preparations, the focus will now be on an island-wide public education campaign on the provisions of the proposed legislation.
Things like we just finished debating the use of helmets for motorcyclists, and of course how we can reduce the road accident impact on our health services, etc., and hopefully respect for each other.
The attorney at law representing Omar Collymore, who is being sought in connection with the murder of his wife, has sought to explain why his client has not yet reported to the police after an advisory was issued for him to contact them yesterday. Attorney at law Christopher Townsend told TVJ News last night that Mr. Collymore is still injured after being attacked by gunmen last month. It is said that he is also concerned about his safety. The police yesterday issued a notice stating that they have a warrant for Mr. Collymore's arrest following investigations into the January 2 killing of his wife, 32-year-old Simone Campbell Collymore, and Winston Walters in Forest Hill, St. Andrew. Mr. Collymore was told to report immediately to either the Constant Springs CIB, the Major Investigations Division, or the Criminal Investigation Branch headquarters. Mr. Townsend spoke with TVJ News last night and expressed surprise that Mr. Collymore was considered a suspect by the police.
The last time I checked with the police, he was not a suspect. They confirmed that. And
Mr. Townsend then explained his client's next step. 4 Costa Ricans are among 11 persons arrested yesterday by the Westmoreland police following the seizure of 1,000 pounds of ganja in Sweet River, Savlamar in the parish. 2 motor cars are also seized. The ganja has an estimated street value of $4 million. Reports are that about 11 o'clock Tuesday morning, a police operation was conducted in the area. The cops discovered a makeshift shed in bushes with several men and a woman in the process of compressing and packaging ganja. With the country recording close to 200 murders since the start of the year, several initiatives are being tabled to curtail the crime monster. The latest is a plan by the Community Safety and Security Branch, CSSB, of the Jamaica Constabulary Force.
Head of the CSSB, SSP Steve McGregor, has instituted an initiative titled the Police Supervised Curfew Program in the Mount Salem community. This program, he says, is one which will be used to help curb the increasing crime rate across the island. Speaking to TVJ News recently, SSP McGregor noted that operational efforts by the JSAFE alone will not reduce crime.
We have to go into the communities and to interface with the citizens and get them to be a part of whatever strategy that we employ to police these communities. And it is good that these citizens have stepped up to the plate in the Mount Salem area to be a part of it. It is good to have them as the change agents. They reside in the community where these differences arise, and it is good that they are a part of this change.
The CSSB head highlighted that the use of young people was a strategic move.
Our young people make up the bulk of those who are murdered in St. James and in the country in general, and also they make up the bulk of those who are doing the killing. So we must focus on them.
One resident of Mount Salem says she's glad for the program, as she believes it will assist parents in monitoring their children more effectively.
I think this is a great venue for the community of Mount Salem, with some of our children being on the roads at late hours during the evenings. So this program will assist them in getting off the street at a certain time.
SSP McGregor says the plan is to replicate the police supervised curfew program in other communities island-wide. Rashid Masters, TVJ News.
We go now to news and sports. The coaching staff and selection committee for Jamaica's Sunshine Girls are delighted at the return of world-rated shooter Romelda Aking to the national setup. She has been named to the latest squad announced by Netball Jamaica.
Romelda Aking, who is based in Australia, had been at odds with Netball Jamaica, which has led to her absence from the national team in recent times. The tension escalated when she made herself unavailable for an away series against New Zealand in September 2016. However, an amicable resolution has now been reached, paving the way for her to return to national duties.
I think Netball Jamaica board members would have had the opportunity to make contact with her. You know, Romelda is a Jamaican at heart, and all the time, you know, Jamaica will always come first. And I'm sure Romelda would take that into consideration. And Netball Jamaica know the importance and the strength of this player, wouldn't want to leave a Romelda Akins out of our of the squad, and therefore they would have made contact. They would have sorted, ironing out whatever differences there were, and we're glad to have her back with in the program.
Co-coach Marvin Anderson is also ecstatic about the availability of Akin once again. Also the presence of fellow world-rated shooter Janiel Fowler-Reid.
Well, Romelda in the squad is a plus for us. We have now 2 6-foot shooters that we can go to at any time. I don't think any other team has that luxury. So Romelda's presence in the squad will only add experience and depth to the squad.
Fellow Sunshine Girl and the centre court player Nicole Dixon has also welcomed the addition of Akin and Fowler-Reid to the unit.
Most persons already know Romelda Akin and Janiel Fowler-Reid. Those are our 2 giant shooters, and I mean, it is a plus to the team as we have 2 tall shooters in the circle. It will be easier for us.
Netball Jamaica's selection committee member Chris Campbell said the 15-member squad for the upcoming quadrangular tournament against the home team New Zealand, Malawi and Fiji was chosen from their 7 overseas-based players, as well as those who participated in the just concluded Berger Elite League, and the input of coaches Sasha Gay Henry and Marvin Anderson.
Coaches were very instrumental in the selection as well, because they would say what are the expectations that in a situation where a combination or a player get injured, who would replace who. So therefore the 7 at all times, that the best 7 will be out there. So we use all of this to make the selection. And we thought we came up with the best of the best.
The full squad reads Romelda Aiken, Janelle Fowler-Reid, Vangelie Williams, Jodian Ward, Shamira Sterling, Malisha Kelly, Stacey Ann Facey, Rebecca Robinson, Shanice Beckford, Shimona Nelson, Khadija Williams, Nicole Dixon, Paula Thompson, Adine Thomas, and Kerry-Ann Brown. The quadrangular series in New Zealand will run from March 21 to 25. The Sunshine Girls are set to depart the island on March 17. 3 players from the current 15-member squad will miss the cut for the Commonwealth Games in Australia from April 4 through to 15.
And that wraps up the Midday News. I'm Herman Green. Join us at 7 for the Primetime News Package. On behalf of the news, sports, and production teams, good afternoon.